At some point, you stop imagining what something could be. I'm trying to build a more self sufficient life right here, and I'm figuring it out as I go. I've drawn this out on paper. Now I want to see if it actually works. Some things make sense on paper, others don't until you're standing here. I'm not locking anything in yet. I just want it to feel right.
Let's talk about my garden bed. This one right here is the biggest one I have. It is 8 feet wide by 4 feet wide. It is 24 inches high. This bottom piece of wood here is pressure treated wood, and these top two pieces are 6 inches wide, and they are cedar. Inside I have a seal that's food safe to help protect the wood from water. Now there's many debates about using pressure treated wood. For me, the best advice I can give you is to do your research and select the wood that you're most comfortable with for your family and your needs. But for me, because the bottom half is mostly to give me elevation, to give me height so that I'm not all the way down on the floor, my plants are most likely only going to use the top 12 inches of the soil. When I first built this garden bed, I really didn't take into account the track of the sun. So the way that I built it, I have it facing south to north instead of east to west, which would allow me to have more of the garden, the back end of the garden, to be able to grow vertically up higher because it would be facing the south, and that means anything in front of it could grow without being impeded by their growth. Because of that, I built it this way. I only have the 4-foot section to grow vertically instead of the full 8-foot section. Because it's so big, it's not going anywhere, so the rest of my garden has to work around this one bed. It's gonna stay where it is. These are my other two garden beds. This is the very first one that I built. It's completely made out of cedar, and of course it's very highly elevated, which means that I have no bending over to do. And I also have a good amount of depth to be able to grow plants that require that deeper root system. This one is about 4 years old, and you do see the wear and tear on it, but it's holding up good, so I don't feel I need to replace it. The next one over there is my herb garden bed. That one I did buy off of Amazon recently. I did have a previous herb garden bed, which was half the size of that, and that one lasted about 2 to 3 years. And so that one was falling apart and I had to replace it with this new one. But these two garden beds, because they're smaller, I can move them anywhere around the garden, so I don't really have to work around these. It's that big one that I really have to work around. The newest addition to my gardens are my green stalks here. This one is going to be a tower of strawberries, and this one I filled up with onions, but they're probably not going to germinate anytime soon. So I do have an uncovered patio area that I can also leverage for growing. I just have to decide what design would work and what would look good up here. I have the green stalks already up here, and they're on wheels, so having them up on this patio section makes it easier to maneuver them around, which I like. And I also have a couple blueberries and my lemon tree up here as well. I think I just want to make sure that whatever I put up here is looking, organized and not like I'm throwing a bunch of stuff up here and it's messy. The other thing I need to take into account is because it is uncovered and it is concrete, it gets really hot in the summertime, which puts extra stress on these plants. So I want to decide if it's still worth it keeping them on a type of patio or just putting everything out in the yard might be better, where it doesn't get as hot because the grass absorbs some of that heat opposed to the concrete pushing it back up towards the plants. I wanted to give you another view of this back open patio section so I can show you a couple of other features that I have to make sure I'm taking into account when designing what I'm going to put in this open patio section. We have the big storage box. I hold a lot of my gardening tools and items in there. That's going to stay. The item that holds the water hose over there, I think that can go. We have something different that we can mount somewhere, so I don't have to worry about that so much, but it's really just this big open tool here, or toolbox that I have to, or storage box that I have to take into account. Make sure that it's in the right spot and that it'll make sense for the future use of this patio section. I did want to chat about this last section of the garden. These pots are here strictly because of the dogs. So I have an irrigation system back here and a sprinkler, and the dogs have already broken it one time. And so the pots are there to keep the dogs from breaking the system again, the sprinkler system again. I do have to do something that's better looking here, a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but the only purpose of this is to keep the dogs from breaking the sprinkler. I have a strawberry plant, a blueberry plant, a blackberry plant, and some dead Thai basil, which I'll replace that.
This part is slower than I expected, but it's helping me see the space differently. I think this is going to work. I'll keep building from here.